That will probably not happen, but I can tell you, Mr. Soul, that TH has that new build order down, the new build order that's going on for like 2 months. Unlike Infi, his former best friend, TH is going for that early Paladin.
Yes, this is Professor Lemes told me, Soul, stop saying new and old build order. Call it fast Paladin or slow Paladin.
Yes.
This is definitely fast Paladin because Paladin, the hero, is going to out from the altar almost as fast as the Farseer. It's not as fast, so there is a little bit different, but that's okay. And the question is, can Egg, how he can deal with the early game harass, because Mr. Neo, I played 2 times in my career versus Starbuck in Pala Rifle versus Orc matchup, and I couldn't leave my base. I was basically taken hostage in my base, and the game was over in 4 minutes. As you can see, Militia is out very quickly, Paladin is out as well, and I think TH will get the green camp before Starbuck arrives, plus 50 HP for the Paladin on the ground. So far it's looking good, and TH is a modern Pala Rifle player. He doesn't want to make any arcane towers. He wants to take quickly, but now the dance begins.
And the base is wide open on the right-hand side. Farseer can just walk straight in. But of course you try to maneuver around that with a bit of Militia. You gotta be careful to not use too much Militia, otherwise your tech is gonna be incredibly late, as we've seen in the match versus Fly yesterday. Starbuck trying to do as much damage as possible. TH is trying to get his rifles out, defend the wolves, and we'll see who does it better.
Yes, this is true. As you mentioned, it's all about the lumber at this point. Of course, it's easy to pull all of the militia. One of the peasants is still left on the right, and I think first blood for the Starbuck. How is the lumber? Lumber is not looking too good for TH, but it's not the end of the world. He's remaking one peon already. And as I mentioned, Starbuck has a good micro. He knows the Pala Rifle weakness. One Holy Light will be forced now. So far, I would say it's okay. But as you can see, Rifleman number 4 is being made. It means that TH respects Starbuck pressure and he's not taking as fast as he would like to.
That's right. He's not attacking at all. Needs a little bit more lumber. I like how one wolf, Farseer, and the headhunters are on the right-hand side. The other wolf is lurking on the left-hand side in case there's a potential for the last hits. This is very well executed. Of course, the Paladin also down to 50%. And Starbuck's just waiting for his tier 2 to finish. Until then, he's most likely hanging around.
Yes, so far it's looking okay. Now this dance will continue, maybe outside of the human base now, because yes, we have more rifles. But yes, you can't really heal your Paladin in the early game, and trading is pretty annoying. As we can see, the key is to pull some militia after the tech to help with trades. And HP on Pala Rifle players getting lower and lower, and all of those legends about how strong Pala Rifle is, now they are looking like a little bit those tales about dragons, Mr. Neo. Have you seen dragon in real life? But you heard about them, right?
I heard about them. I maybe saw their ancestors, their family members, like little lizards, but not a powerful fire-spitting dragon, no. I also haven't seen a powerful Pala Rifle in a long time.
Yeah, especially versus Starbuck, who has those anti-Pala Rifle solutions. And this is not over. TH is still trying to play as defensive as possible, but yes, with all due respect to TH, this looks kinda similar to my games versus Starbuck, so Starbuck is ready. And Naga second. Okay, you go for the Naga second as Orc if you can feel the fear in the Pala Rifle player. Basically, this Naga is like, I can just finish you early. I don't need to creep my panda. I just want to deal as much damage as possible. But who knows? Maybe Starbuck is overestimating his position. For now, Paladin is critically low and peons are dying.
This looks like a hard counter. How are you supposed to threaten anything here? Farseer, Naga at 50%, alright. But they can chill, it's just a distraction. The tier 3 has been started and TH in shambles. He still had faith in the Pally rifle, but I'm not too sure looking at this Paladin if even he has faith.
Well, it's not easy to find somebody that had faith in Pala Rifle in this particular game. We can of course argue maybe with early Arcane Tower, Maybe with something like this, but definitely I think that's why community thinks that Archmage is just better and Paladin needs 1 kill to get level 2, maybe to get some healing, maybe to get some Divine Shield or something like this. He is holding, but barely. As you can see, TH, he really wants to get 1 kill, but he can't. Paladin is dead, and with this, GG is over. I think GG will be called quite soon. 1-0 for Starbuck.
Dominating Bucky. Ay. This looked very one-sided. And you said it at the beginning. You are not able to leave your base versus Starbuck. TH is not able to leave his base versus Starbuck. Soul 8-man is basically TH. That looks like a very standard opener. And for Starbuck, there's absolutely no reason to change anything. It's just down to TH to execute it a little bit better. This was the map that TH won yesterday versus Fly, if I'm not mistaken. Looked like a very good creep route, but Fly also made that mistake of creeping before harassing. That was a very interesting approach for an orc against Pally Rifle.
Yes, that sounds interesting. And what I can tell you, how we built the base as Pala Rifle, it was like there was a lot of speculation about that. TH wants to be able to move freely inside of his base, right? That's why he has such a huge entry between altar and 2 farms. He's pulling 5 militia in order to creep quickly. And yes, it's all about the kiting later. Starbuck is crossing the map, he's not going to creep anything, and TH is creeping as fast as possible.
And of course he gets the Sea Giant first, because that spin damage is not to be underestimated. Starbuck finds him immediately. That should be another militia, or at least the first Holy Light. How much damage can be done? A little bit of a longer cooldown on the Holy Light on this patch, of course, but only 0.5 seconds. Do you notice that in your game, Soul? 500 milliseconds?
I very rarely go to tier 3 versus Undead, so I don't play Paladin at all with my Archmage openers, but Mr. Neo, I see much better militia usage, as you can see. We pulled the fresh militia, and look at this, all of the peasants from Lumber are on the top, right, on the north. So basically, TH stays in like this one big group of units, and I like this early game much better. Please don't be too greedy, TH, because we all know what happened in game number 1. We want to see at least a little bit longer game.
Exactly. Well, with the time pressure with the starting Lawlight Cup, maybe we don't, but we'll figure this out. A nice tug of war is always what we want between the players here in the tournaments. And this is pretty much exactly what we've seen yesterday. A fast level 2 is so helpful because everything is sturdier now.
Yeah, a little bit mistake by Starbuck. He gave a lot of experience with 2 wolves, basically. That's why a devotion aura is unlocked. And Starbuck is pulling back, reposition a little bit. I like this early game much better for TH. And I think in this game we are going to see Panda, but who knows? Maybe pressure from Starbuck will be actually amazing. There is still a lot of mana on the Paladin. +1 is on the way. Farm number 4 is in kind of dangerous position, but okay. We need to pull militia, Neo. If we just trade like this, wolves are too strong. We need to pull militia. Don't be greedy, Mr. TH. I beg you.
Yeah, he's trying to go for the tower, but the defensive position is all right. Not for this militia, unfortunately. Oh! I thought for a second he's gonna save it, but couldn't. Not too much damage on the orc army. It's mostly on workers and mostly on rifles, begging for this tower to finally finish.
Yes, he needs to be passive now, because yes, we need Blood Mage, we need long rifle range, but look, Panda is in the middle, so yes, Starbuck is like, okay, you passed the test, you passed the early game test, Mr. TH. Now, I'm going to play into the late game. As you can see, wolves are already going to assist the Panda, because Farseer is a good friend. He's like sending wolves to help creep, and he himself doesn't need that much experience. Panda needs all of the experience, and already the big item is in the Panda inventory. Big healing potion. Look at this. TH knew about this, but he was too late.
because Pala Rifle is still a very slow strategy. And look at this, a harassing Farseer who doesn't creep. Asian Warcraft players everywhere. Please take notes that this is what you're supposed to do in the mid game. The Panda is already level 2. He got the Drunken Haze Breath of Fire, got the item, gets his expansion crept as well. And there's no chance for TH at the moment to use regeneration potion possibly. I like this a lot. And if you look at Starbuck's comments in the chat recently, he said, build Spirit Walkers, just one single Spirit Walker. The Spirit Link is a pretty amazing spell against the Pally Rifle.
Okay, that's interesting. The follow-up is to basically start making towers. That's why he is making double tower and totem. Definitely we are going to see a few Spirit Walkers, but again, Panda level 2.6 probably with some cool items. And look how late shop of Starbuck is. He has situation under control. He's like, I don't need to use this shop immediately. Items, they cost gold. I can prioritize my towers. I can prioritize my tech. The Pala Rifle player, is he staying tier 2? Yes, he's staying tier 2. So we are going to see old school, the brute force way. So just pure rifles and probably around 50 supply aggression. Modern Pala Rifle players like Mr. Toxi, like Mr. Lemes, probably Starbuck, they try to go to the late game, right? They try to go to like tier 3 themselves, make MK, Bolt the Panda, and connect this with Siphon Mana and, you know, some other unit composition. But this can work, of course, and we are going to have a big fight over Makrura.
Ooh, and that Farseer isn't looking too good, to be honest. Has to go for a Sound Bottle right away, but not without getting the Scroll of Healing. Can always get or be a game-deciding item, but the game-deciding Makrura, and the Makrura Prophecy goes to TH.
Yeah, and Militia is coming. It's going to be the pure brute force technology, right? As we can see, there is no Taurens. Yes, this is the best timing that TH can get. This game is getting interesting. Of course, if he's going to tier 3, the game would look differently, but no, he wants to finish the game now. He wants to finish the game before there are Taurens, and I like this timing. I also like that Starbuck is playing quite passively. But you know what, Mr. Dio, the peons are here and they can start making towers, and Arcane Towers versus Panda are pretty good. So far, TH is attacking the altar, but what's the point? The Fire Lord is already here, and now it's all about the micro.
Let's see, we got the Spirit Link, which is amazing to distribute single target damage to multiple sources and have a flatter damage curve, which then lines up nicely. Oh my god, with the heal scroll. The Breath of Fire is amazing. The power of level 2 Breath of Fire and the sweet rhythm against the Siphon, and this is how you defend this 8-minute timing.
Well, the key was to grab the healing scroll by Starbuck. I really like it. And Pala Rifle player doesn't have any follow-up. There is no... Why there is one rifleman on the top? Okay, he's coming back. There was one lost rifle in the woods. But yes, my point is, Mr. TH needs to push again, but maybe he has time. But look at this. There is already one Tauren in the mix, and more probably will come later. Already we have a Pulverize as well for more damage. There is no Gryphons. There is no anything else. We are pushing.
And we have double shop technology, Soul. That's new.
Double shop technology.
By Starbuck, but hey, maybe for after the fight. The illusions are quite annoying. The Panda, though, not controlled, gets the Breath of Fire out with ease as there was no Siphon against him. Holy Light prevented by Soulburn. The Walker is still in the mix. So much Spirit Link, and everything takes a little bit of damage, except that unlike one target getting a lot. Now the Siphon is looking a little better. We don't have a heal scroll anymore. Starbuck retreats. TH also licking his wounds a little bit. And yeah, one shop on the left, one shop in the middle. Double shop technology.
Double shop technology indeed. So this is a spare shop, you know, like, because as you can see, Starbuck can see some moves ahead, and he's like, okay, maybe my main shop is going to go down, because yes, still in the hands on a good player, Pala Rifle is quite strong. So that's why I have this remote shop. And so far, I'm very surprised that it's working quite well. And TH is going in again. He is pulling his militia. There is no concrete yet, and there won't be any concrete, I think. How many mana potions Panda has? Only one, the small one. And Mr. Neo is looking better than I thought. Maybe the Loliot Cup is 5 minutes away longer than you expected.
Yeah. That is an interesting setup for sure. Starbuck is trying to buy time for the heal scroll. It's 13 seconds till he gets it. Absolute necessity in fights against Peli Rifle. The Fire Lord, by the way, didn't get a single experience point.
Yeah, it means that Pala Rifle player is good, that Pala Rifle player is present, and it's funny to me that the Fortress is almost dead, but definitely Starbuck will act now. We have the big fight. There is nothing else than rifles for the human player. There are two magnificent towers in front, and look at this. It's all about the kiting, it's all about positioning, and it's going to be tough for the Pala Rifle player. Starbuck was very patient. Starbuck has good position as well. There is no towers that can actually attack, only scout towers. Blood Mage has a lot of mana. We need to start spending mana, Mr. TH, but this Scroll of Regen is pretty good.
Okay, no Flame Strike on the Blood Mage is interesting. We've seen it more and more, especially against Headhunter builds. Alta down. Fortress still needs to be defended. Both players licking their wounds from the first part of the battle. Pulverize going forward. We have Soul Burn again. Blood Mage in a little bit of trouble, but so is the Paladin actually. No heal potion, and TH with another TP. He can't break the buck.
Well, that's an issue, right? Starbuck had very nice defensive position. He has all of his burrows in defensive position, right? Look at this. Fortress lost almost 2000 HP, right? But who cares? The game is not going to be decided but how much HP your main building has if it's still alive, right? Exactly. So Starbuck used all of this time to produce magnificent towers, and TH is going to push again. No tier 3, nothing. Rifles with 2-1 upgrades. We have one Scroll of Healing. Another one is not available sadly yet. It will be in 20 seconds. Maybe Scroll of Protection, who knows. And yes, he's trying to push again. Starbuck is creeping big turtles. This is a pretty good timing. Imagine if he would buy the Supper now, but it's probably impossible.
3 zeros in the name, 3 pushes in the game. That's what TH is providing here. Little bit of repair still. Starbuck pretty broke, but he still got the mana. No mana potion this time. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, phenomenal. Blood Mage not even part of this fight. He went for the heal scrolls, and he absolutely needs them. Needs to start sucking now. Panda gets another breath out, and then there's not too much mana anymore. Both heal scrolls gone already.
Yeah, but Taurens are dying as well, but more of Taurens are coming. Look at this, the Spirit Link is dealing so much damage. Probably that's why the Flame Strike would be so much better. With Flame Strike, all of those Berserkers could be dead, and now the Blood Mage is just carrying the full mana. You need to spend your mana, Mr. TH. I know that Professor Lemes is not longer, in his office in the Pala Rifle University, but he would send him like a letter. Hey, Mr. TH, this is not how you play Pala Rifle. You need to repeat your beginner curse. You need to spend your mana on the Blood Mage.
And Starbuck has to spend his gold on heal scrolls. He's going in with the speed scroll now. Interesting approach. Another Breath of Fire. Can he get a hero kill here? Maybe the Holy Lights are strong, but he can't Holy Light himself, and he went for double devotion. Maybe there's a chance here. There's like 40 supply about to die. 80 supply on both sides. This is so goddamn close. Holy Light available. No soul burn against it. Torrent falling, rifle falling, headhunter falling. The game on a knife's edge, but Starbuck has to tap out, and TH gets a victory here with the 1-1.
Yeah, I need to look for the keys to my office in the Pala Rifle University. I was renting it to the Night Elves, but maybe I need to suit up and go back to work.
Apparently, that is TH, right? We talked about it. He's a good player, but he's not like top 10 in the world at the moment. And if TH can make it work against arguably the best anti-Pala Rifle player, then everybody should be able to do it.
So yes, there is a lot of options, and yes, we have a confirmation in the altar is going to be Archmage. Very interesting for TH to basically change his strategy. Maybe it's the part of the mind games, right? Of course, Starbuck knows all of the strategies, but he's going to cross this map, and in his mind is Paladin and Rifles, and he's going to arrive, and Archmage Footman how long he's going to be shocked by that.
Well, it's not a big change for him, right? You start with Farstia Headhunter anyway, regardless if it's Peli Rifle or Archmage. That's the comfortable position that orcs are in these days. On the other side, TH, of course, wanting to creep. And then the adjustments by Starbuck will be coming down the road when it's different casters and maybe a Beastery for the first time. No Tauren, of course. But we'll see how good TH is with that Archmage. Yesterday in the Don't Force Me Cup qualifier, it wasn't too successful, but it was a lot of 2-1s. Maybe the same result here, or finally a win in competitive Warcraft for TH after his break.
Okay. Interesting decision by TH. He wants to get the Rogue Golem camp. Of course, he can just pull back after getting the item and some experience, or he can try to expand. We'll see about that. Starbuck is already here, and Starbuck is pretty good with the last hit. It's all about the Rogue Golem last hit, Neo.
Oh, TH got it. Item is the circlet, so he got both. No success for Starbuck right there, but he gets one of the militia. And that is indeed the question that you were raising here. What's it gonna be, expansion or not? TH is a very tricky player with a lot of finesse and mind games. But since the tower is coming up, I think there is no mind games. It's just gonna be a straight up expansion.
Yeah, interesting why TH is like waiting in his main, in his expansion with all of the army. He was expecting the Headhunter, and look at this. The mind games are for Starbuck, so TH waited too long, and now he's canceling the tower. I don't know if he's going to try to expand again. I think there is still open, and look at this. There is no farm number 4. I think TH is going to... I don't know. I'm missing one farm, Neo. There is a very important rule. You need to make farm number 4, or you are going to be supply blocked. He's supply blocked as we speak. So, Mr. TH, you need to decide what to do.
Well, we have new 3-farm expansion technology by some of the humans. It is very greedy and has some downsides. But you could go for defend, you could go for more towers. You might be able to...
He's stacking. He has to be stacking, like, or he will like accumulate 1,000 gold. Yes, he is stacking. So, you know, he wanted to expand. He wasn't able to, and sorry to cut you down, but Mr. Neo, what is your opinion about the new defend? Because in this game, we can actually see it. Defend was buffed and nerfed at the same time. It's cheaper, the research time is shorter, but it's a little bit weaker in like the values that protects you from the piercing damage. And I never know what to think about defend, but TH says I like the new defend, and that's what he's researching right now.
Yeah, I think it's in a very good place now. It comes up quicker, but it is way less strong. And it was a very frustrating experience as a Fiend player that I am myself to play against Defend. Because Defend is basically an invulnerability potion on your entire army, right? If it's up against piercing damage. So I think it's a very good change. It is still good enough because it's stronger early on that you go for it.
Okay, so we'll see it in action soon. By the way, look at the Archmage. He bought another Circlet. He bought Boot of Speed. We spent so much gold on this Archmage. It's like sending your child to like, I don't know, study abroad in Harvard or something. You invest a lot of gold in this endeavor, and it hopes it's going to pay off because this Archmage needs to deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, and ideally to Starbuck's base and burrows, but that timing has passed already. We take a look at the base where spikes are up. Very, very nice against footman pushes. TC is coming. Spirit Lodge at 1/4. I don't think he can afford the time to run across and cancel that. Starbuck sharking around, kind of sandwiching the enemy here.
And there is no pressure on the burrows, and it's a small creepjack, but still a creepjack. And as you mentioned, Starbuck is there. Starbuck is ready to try to damage the footies, and even though there is defense, there is a lot of non-piercing damage source. 1 grand, some wolves, and footies are dying.
Look at that defend micro by TH. When the headhunters were attacking, he enabled defend when the attack was off. Then he used it to move faster. Oh, that is beautiful. Body block by Starbuck, also nice. We have a water elemental, but no reinforcements for footmen. And yeah, this doesn't do much except preventing creeping from Starbuck. Wolves are checking this out. What are you building, my friend? It is double Arcane Sanctum and a Mountain King.
Yeah, this is actually a very good early and mid game by Starbuck, I think. 0 damage to his base. He has spikes, he has concrete already. He decided to make double tier 2 building, so it's usually a sign that he's not going to expand, at least early on, but we'll see. Starbuck is here to define the meta. Interestingly enough, he's not starting with a Kodobis, he's not starting with a Raider, but we are going to see a beautiful Wyvern. And you know what? He's trying to expand, but with the tower first. And yes, I like this position, but when we think about Mr. TH, we know that he's very experienced, a human player, and his caster micro probably is amazing. Rifle caster is more like explosive army, right? You want to fight a lot with rifle caster, with some just casters, you know? I feel like there is time because you need to slowly build your fleets, you need to build your swords and then breakers. So I think it's a good idea by Starbuck to try to play the expansion now because the rifle push is not coming.
Exactly. That will take some time, as you just explained. Shockwave first, telegraphing that early. The end snare from the troll. Nicely done. Of course, an easy 2-for-1 trade here. Starbuck is tearing TH apart. Gets more creeps. What can Mountain King and Archmage do here? A couple of Headhunters still very fragile if you want to spend some mana, but then the Mountain King is also hurt and might catch Chain Lightning and Shockwave combo, and he doesn't even need the Shockwave and the Chain Lightning. Only the Shockwave is enough. Mountain King level 1 dead, and now the Wyvern. So much damage. I think it was not really designed to help in the fight. That was just designed to creep, but you know what? Wyvern once again bring the victory here in TH, falling a little apart in game 3. Starbuck off to the winner bracket final.